I would say the biggest question from central banks is what is the role of tokenization and digitization? How quickly should they think about digitizing their own currency? What does that mean for the role of the dollar? If every currency digitizes and we have, what does that mean for bank payments? What does that mean for the payment companies like MasterCard and Visa? All these are being questioned right now. I think we spend so much time talking about AI. We're not spending enough time talking about how quickly we're going to tokenize every financial asset and the opportunity we're going to have a digital wallet and moving ETFs and other things through a digital wallet. And I think that's going to happen worldwide very rapidly. And I think most countries are ill-prepared for that and underappreciate how technology is changing that, not unlike how technology is changing AI and other things. It will be changing the technology around the plumbing of finance.
What's up, guys? So, I just wanted to make a quick video. First of all, it's great to see people are waking up to ICP. Now, I'm not going to be a doomer or try and shit on anyone's parade, right? I hope, personally, right? Why wouldn't I hope for this to be the real wake-up moment? But from what I've seen on crypto Twitter, some of it seems orchestrated, right? Like all these people are waking up to it now. I mean, but that could be authentic, right? Because when things, I mean, just look how much the volume rose just in 24 hours, right? I have this filtered by the week, so it already grew 66% in 1 week, but just the market cap as well, 31% in a week. But well, I don't know if that's by week or what. I think it's by week, but regardless, right? I'm making this video because we've had a moment like this before within ICP, right? People were waking up to it and it was at like 15, 20-ish dollars in that range, right? And then it went dropping back down. And that pump was out of nowhere too. This pump was out of nowhere as well. So I hope it's not like this again. But if it is, that could be a catalyst for people being discouraged. And I don't want that to happen, right? That's why I'm making this video. Regardless of what happens with price in the next coming month or 2 months, okay, do not be discouraged because Internet Computer Protocol is going to be a huge part of the upcoming society, right? The upcoming economic changes. Um, that's why I think crypto was even kind of introduced the way it was, right? The whole narrative around it. And the narratives are changing, right? I think you really got to keep an open mind with everything happening in this world, not just crypto, but in this world today. But you know, uh, it's like really that is the best rule of thumb in 2025 and moving forward. Um, making literally doing your own research and making your own decisions. That is by far the best rule of thumb to follow. And we're just gonna have to see who's right because who really has the answers, right? You can come close to the answers, right? Like me saying this is where the future is heading because all the signs are showing that. You just saw that Larry Fink video again. I just made one the other day and he just came out. I don't know when that interview was, right? That investment finance initiative or whatever that thing was called, but he made a great point. People aren't focusing enough on the actual infrastructure of this. Like, people are focusing on AI a lot and all these emerging technologies you can see. But it's like you said, people aren't focusing on the plumbing, guys. ICP is the plumbing. Crypto is the plumbing. Crypto's the plumbing. And ICP just happens to be the one that actually took that serious enough and said, okay, all these things are off chain. We actually need a true Web3. ICP is going to be the leader of Web3, guys. That's why you have this out of nowhere, right? And even if this crashes back down, that's why I wanted to say this. Even if this crashes back down, it's all even this pump I personally think is manipulated, right? But that doesn't discourage me. This is how I think this game is played. Whether it goes up or down, I think there's like very, very, very large vested interests. Now I can't prove that, right? I can't prove that, but this is just what I think. And you can think whatever you want, right? It doesn't matter, because either way, in my opinion, the conclusion is going to be the same. It's just that I don't know the time frame of that. I hope it's now, but maybe it's not, and that's okay. Because either way, I don't want to keep repeating myself, but the conclusion is going to be the same. And maybe like, let's say this is the time where it just keeps pumping and pumping and pumping, and it goes to like 100 or something plus, right? That's amazing. That's great. But let's say it doesn't. One will be the time, right? Will it be in a way where it's the only winner, like it looks like right now? Like, look at this, right? Will it be like that? Will that be how it plays out? Or will it be everything else goes up and ICP leads it, right? Or maybe it'll just be everything going up and ICP's kind of in the same boat. But even if that scenario played out, I think everything else would crash and ICP would be. There's another quote I put in a video from like 2 months ago, right? One of my first videos, and it's talking about how the market with emotions, right? At first, at first, it's I forget the quote, but I'm gonna put it up right now, and it's true. It's true. Like in the long run, it's a weighing machine, right? People might be emotional at first and pick what they think their favorite is gonna be. But in the long run, guys, when all is said and done, only the strongest are going to survive. And ICP is by far, in terms of strongest, I think it's inevitable compared to everything else. I think it's inevitable. And why do I think that? Because in my opinion, the real purpose of blockchain, distributed ledger technology, and utility coins, right? People might think currency and transactions, which is true, right? It will be currency too, right? I mean, Larry Fink was talking about it, digitizing fiat, digitizing gold, digitizing silver, right? But what is that ultimately for? What is that going to be in a framework of? Everything's going to be tokenized. I think Bitcoin was released to the public to get everybody excited, like, oh, look how much is shot up. You can get rich. You can get rich. You can like just become filthy rich and just invest in the right thing, right? It got everybody's attention, but everybody's so focused on DeFi and all this stuff where they don't actually focus on what tokenization can actually bring to something like a smart city, right? Just imagine, it sounds dystopian in a way, but just imagine, every time you drive a car, an electric car or something, every single um emission that produces, whether it's electric or gas or hybrid, right? Every single thing that, oh, this is how much electricity you used, right? Everything might be tokenized and put on a blockchain, a permanent database that knows the state of every single thing. Now, obviously, this is the in- inception phase of that, so I could be completely wrong on how that plays out, but if this keeps scaling the way it does, I think everything's going to be uploaded on a blockchain, all the important things, right, for government use. That's why the government wants this to happen, guys. That's why I would argue the banks are okay with this happening. Okay, there's trade-offs, right? Maybe there are trade-offs, like okay, the people get potentially more freedom in a way, right? Because it's not as centralized now. But I think at the end of the day, this is just going to make it much more organized for the elite. That's my point of view from this. That's why I'm bullish on this. And maybe that's dystopian, right? Maybe that makes me seem like a bad guy, but that's my reality, right? And if I'm wrong about that, that's fine. I think either way, this is the end game, right? I think this is the conclusion, right? We're in the fourth industrial revolution, inception phase, and welcome, guys. Welcome to the fourth industrial revolution, right? The AI economy, the tokenized economy, and ICP is going to be a huge player in that. I, 95% of I'm not even diversified, just to be transparent. 99, 95 to 99% of everything I've ever bought is in ICP, and about 95% of that of what I bought is staked 8 years, non-dissolving. That's my choice, right? I don't have any Bitcoin, uh, and that's a real unpopular opinion. I don't even care about Bitcoin, honestly. But anyways, isn't it funny here how like you have all of these, and this is just a random slide. I'm not saying anything by it, but it's like you don't even have crypto here, like tokenization or anything, right? All of this is going to be possible, but we're going to stay on an old, outdated system of transaction, right? With all that friction, artificial intelligence has bottlenecks right now, right? And with that, so will robotics, and so will all autonomous vehicles and IoT. And yeah, this is just how I see this playing out personally. So like I said, guys, if this happens again with ICP, right, the pump great is great right now. Do not be discouraged if it goes back into red. Don't be discouraged because um the future's bright for crypto in my opinion, and especially ICP. Especially ICP. So that's all I got, guys. Have a good one.